What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Shooting It Straight with myself, Justin Jackson, and my man John. Coming to us with a special guest. Many people know Jersey should probably be in the blue up in the rafters, but we'll get to that in a second. First, first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Johnny T-Shirt and Congruity HR, where Tar Heels can get a free payroll and HR needs assessment whenever you need it. So go check both of those wonderful companies out. But anyways, back to our special guest. I got to get the intro. I got to get the intro right. I didn't, when Kenny was on here last time, man, I didn't have a whole list of things and accolades that he had, but I had to go back and, I had to get this list. You know
Oh
what I mean?
goodness.
For my main man, my vet, I guess they call in the league, but my upperclassman when I got to school. Uh, this was a consensus first team All American, um, ACC All ACC first team. I mean, he literally put us on his back multiple games. Uh, and the list could go on and on. I did see that you were Ken Palm Player of the Year, which I'm not sure how a Player of the Year doesn't get his jersey in the blue, which kind of goes back to what I was saying. Um, but, anyways, for those listening and watching, my man Brice Johnson, thank you, man, for joining us for this special episode.
Absolutely,
Uh,
man. I appreciate y'all having me on.
Man, you know what? It's kind of crazy, man. After college, in college you do everything together. Like obviously everybody has their own lives and things like that, but you're with each other all the time. And then you leave college and it's like you just kind of disperse and you kind of reconnect whenever you can reconnect, but life just kind of has its way of, taking people in their separate ways. So I'm
Absolutely.
glad and happy to have you on here, man. We thank you. It's an honor to have you on, brother. But I guess, man, the first questions we got for you, bro, is just kind of what's up, what's been up with you? Where you at? What's
Uh,
going on?
just recovering from an Achilles injury. Tore my Achilles a year ago now, but starting to get back in the swing of things. Started back on the court about a month ago. So other than that, just trying to get back out there, man. I was in Japan, been trying to, get my world tour together, but Japan was my last stop, so I was enjoying that until I got hurt. So hopefully I can go back there in the near future. But other than that, I'm just here rehabbing, and you know, hopefully I can go to a game soon. So go to Chapel Hill
Hey,
see the
look,
boys one time. Maybe.
man, they're low key balling, bro. Like I,
Hey
I
man, that's a
was, I
hard ticket to
was.
get.
It is, it is. I will stand on this because I think any of our teams that we were on, I think we would beat this team by 15 or 20.
20?
Uh,
No, no, no. First of all, we beat them by 30 because we'd run
but
them. We'd run them. They don't run whatsoever,
that is
and they
true.
play
They are
small too.
very.
Even our small
They
lineup would beat them, honestly.
Yeah, because what Marcus was basically our second smallest guy out there. Um, but man, like I like when I watch this team and like the where college basketball is this year, they're pretty freaking good, bro. Like I was watching their game against Wake Forest and it was like, okay, they actually have a chance, like they have a chance to do a lot of things.
Absolutely, and they remind me of what we used to do. We used to play with our food in the first half. They were kind of not. They were
Facts.
kind of playing down to their competition. Then all of a sudden, they were like, "All right, wait a minute. Let's go ahead and finish the deal, and
Yeah,
then
let's lock it in. Let's
let's
get them
lock it.
up out of
Listen,
here.
it's like I don't know if HD's in there, saying some things like Coach Williams did, but whatever he said, it worked. So
For sure, bro, for sure. But my thing is, man, like going back to kind of you and kind of what your journey has been. Obviously, I forgot to throw in there on all your accolades that you were a first round pick, man.
hey,
But
you were higher than me,
as
so
I got lucky, man. But
did you?
the organization I went to was a rough one. But anyways, we'll stay away. We'll stay away from
You
those.
you went to a
Uh,
rough one. Let's not go there.
oh, so we talked to Kenny a little bit. Obviously, he's been in Greece for I guess what this is his third year. Um, but what is it like over in Japan, bro? Like and the places that you have been. What has that experience been like? Obviously, you say hopefully you can go back and play once you kind of get fully 100% or whatever. But what is it like over there?
It's great, man. Fans love you. It's more of a fan love driven league more than a play. It's like a, you know, how in some of those European countries they kind of judge you off of your play. They kind of just judge you off of your likability over there in Japan, and I think that's why a lot of guys like it so much. Now, don't get me wrong, you do have to play well and all that stuff to be a fan
Yeah,
favorite,
yeah,
but at the same time, just I just love it. It's a very beautiful country, uh, great basketball all around, uh, great bigs league, I would say, because it's nothing but American bigs. Because James Michael was over there, and Jawad
yeah.
played there for however many years. But yeah, I love it. Like I said, I don't see myself going to any other country, but the opportunity presents itself to go somewhere else, then I'll do that. But kind of want to go back to Japan if I can, because it's great. I've been trying
Yeah.
to learn a little bit of Japanese here and there, just
Okay.
just in case. So don't ask me to
Yeah.
say it. Don't ask me to say it. Don't put me on the spot because
No.
I'm not gonna do it.
Hey,
Okay.
trust me. Trust me. I that will be the last one to ask. What's the food like? I've always wondered what the food is like over there. How's the
Dude, it's
food over there?
the freshest ever, bro. You remember how we used to eat McDonald's? We used to feel bad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can go over there and eat McDonald's. Ah, best thing ever.
Really?
Best thing ever. I think that's just overseas in general. Their
Yeah, yeah,
McDonald's is so fresh. People are like, yeah, you eat McDonald's. Why you eat it so much? Well, it's a lot fresher overseas than it is here. So,
yeah.
I
Huh.
could eat McDonald's every day and still lose weight. And back at home, back in Chapel Hill, in college,
Oh
we ate
no.
McDonald's and we used to take a nap afterwards. So,
Yeah,
you
yeah. The
know,
itis immediately.
so.
Yeah.
But
So basically, what you're saying is
other
America
than
food is just
McDonald's,
nasty.
no, American food is not nasty. It's just you can tell the difference when you go
Yeah, yeah,
overseas. Like everything's a little fresher. That's all. The sushi's amazing, obviously.
yeah,
Korean
yeah.
barbecue style food. All those different things. But like I said, it's just a little fresher over there than it is here.
That's dope.
I will say, in an earlier episode, Justin revealed you all's pregame meals for some of the games going to Ruth Chris and things like that. Maybe not pregame, but on road trips and things
Mm,
like that. So you might also be just eating healthier now these days than maybe you were in
no, no,
college.
no. Listen, getting
Maybe
that
we can
Bullock's
just.
barbecue or the Ruth's Chris, little Angus Barn. Listen, the bread at Angus Barn was it though,
But think
with the
about
sweet
what
tea
we
though.
could eat. Think about what that's what see sweet tea. Think about what we could eat back then, and it really like yeah we might have felt like afterwards we might have felt a little weird, but then we could go run 12 miles in a game and there'd be no effects at all. Like
Listen, it was the
I'm
hardest thing ever to keep on weight in college. I don't know what
bro,
it was. We ate first of all, we ate like offensive linemen for real. Between me,
bro,
Justin, and Marcus, I don't know who ate more. Out of all of us on the team, we all ate probably the most out of everybody, and we still couldn't hold on weight.
it's so bad. It got so bad in college that because you go to college and obviously Jonas, you have that first like as a freshman, you come in, you're eating a Pop Tart for breakfast, and so he gets pissed. So then you're like, all right, well, then you're like, all right, well, I got to eat a little bit better, but then there's not as many foods that you like eating really good. It got so bad for me that Jonas looked at me and said, "Look, I don't care what you eat at this point. Just eat. Like you just need to eat whatever. I don't care what kind of food, if it's fried, if it's whatever, just eat because you got to put on some sort of weight." And I think total in my 3 years, I think I put on a total like 10 pounds by my junior year. Like that was the most I got.
Well, you should have been drinking beer from the start. You should have been drinking beer. Maybe you would have gained some weight. But
Golly, I needed it. I wish I would have had some sort of something because all those
listen,
shakes and
them shakes
things
did
like that we
nothing,
did,
especially after
it didn't do
practice.
anything.
And he would give us like the
It,
double protein shake, and like we drink them and be like, I'm still hungry. I don't know what else to do. Like,
still starving. Let's go hit IP3 for $5. Let's do it.
hey, 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 hey,
Um,
hey, 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 don't give away all our secrets, man. Hey, listen,
hey,
be
look,
calm,
these guys
be
are getting
calm.
paid at this point. These guys are getting paid NIL. They're getting whatever. We can
I
go ahead
don't,
and let out some
we
of our secrets. You know what I'm
we
saying? Like
can, but let's not
we
talk
had
about it.
to.
I'm not. I don't want to listen. I don't want to think about that because it makes me mad every time I think about it. It's
Oh man! But speaking of NIL and speaking of this team, brother, uh, let me get your opinion on Coach Davis. I mean, obviously we had him as an assistant for I guess my first year would have been his second year as an assistant,
uh-huh.
I
He
think.
came in with us.
So
He came in before y'all got there.
that's right. So I mean, my thoughts. I've been a huge. Obviously, I love HD. I loved him as an assistant. I think now as a head coach, I think he's taken some of the things that he's had that he was as an assistant and applied it. And obviously, a little more, whether he's a little more strict or a little more just you know head coach vibe to him.
Yeah.
So I love him as kind of the next guy after Coach Williams. I think most people kind of saw him as kind of that next guy if they were going to stay in home. But obviously, after going to the championship and then the next year not making the tournament, obviously everybody was, oh man, is Coach, is HD the right guy? What are your thoughts on kind of what he's done with the team and, him being the new guy at the helm?
I love it. I mean, obviously, we were with him for our entire career, so we got to see him kind of grow, especially with that JV team where he was coaching them. They were winning a lot doing that, so you could see it. But still think he could take a little bit of that player side of him and bring it out when he's coaching sometimes. But I think he's doing a good job, especially bouncing back after what happened last year with that team. You could just tell something was wrong, and for him to kind of rectify the situation, bring in some good transfers, and really rebuild that entire roster, honestly, and become the third best team in the country. And I still think they have a lot more they could give, especially since they're playing small. They haven't even really played big like Carolina basketball really did all those years. So, but he's doing good. I mean, like I said, it takes a little bit of a learning curve sometimes. You can't really back up Coach Williams and expect them to win 3 national championships in a row. So, I mean, you got to let him kind of learn and figure it out on his own. And hopefully, Coach Williams has been in his ear from time to time because I know he's always at the home games. I don't know about the away games anymore, but
Yeah, I mean, when's the last time you talked to Coach Williams?
he actually just called me maybe a week ago. He called me because he was sending out Christmas cards in the middle of January. He sends out he's like, oh, like I was trying not to step on toes, and I'm just like, Coach, it's just a Christmas card. What are you talking about?
That's all.
So listen, what's funny? I just got the Christmas card yesterday, and he like puts all his addresses in. I'm just like, so you got 3 houses where you spend 3 different times in a year. Like I'm just like, just a little subtle flex with all your old players. It's okay though. It's fine. We ain't gonna talk about it, but it's okay. But it's.
I thought the same thing.
I was just like, okay, all right. I see what we're doing here.
Right. In case you can't reach me at this address, I might be at this one. If you can't get me there,
like from mid-July to like November, I'm gonna be here. We're doing the golf course these 3 months, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm still trying to earn a living and trying to provide for my freaking family. Appreciate you, Coach.
Yeah, must be nice. That's all I'm saying.
But I agree, bro. I think a lot of times people think that change doesn't take time to like turn into the end product, and I think maybe it was kind of premature because of the fact that they made it to the championship the first year. I think everybody was like, oh, like this is how it's supposed to be from here on out. It's a championship or it's a failure.
I think that year I think Coach Davis did a really good job of figuring out what Coach Williams couldn't that first year with that team, especially with like Brady. They had Brady really out there like spreading the floor. Armando was doing his thing. Caleb was playing on another level. He's playing on another level now out there in Arizona. It's just like you can see that team was really good. And then the next year it was just like, all right, something's going on. Like this is the same team minus Brady. Like what's going on? Like something's going on. Nobody really knows. And then this year it's like, all right, well let's do it again. Let's try and figure it out like we did the first year. And you can see that he's figured it out like he did the first year. Like it's just like you said, it just takes time. Like like I said, you can't expect Coach Davis to like go in there and be a Hall of Fame coach his first couple years. Like, yeah, he had a really good first year, but that's because he can relate to the players now. He can relate to them, and he was able to figure out what worked, what ticked those guys off to make them play the way they did, go all the way, and ruin Coach K's last game. I'm going to say it out loud because I enjoyed that part of it. Okay, I enjoyed that part of it. So, but yeah, you can see he figured it out, and I think he's starting to figure it out again. And hopefully, I mean, I'm listen. I'm gonna say Marcus is the reason they're shooting better, but
Hey, look.
I mean,
I
Marcus is
try.
on staff, it's but
I
it
try
is what it
to.
is.
I try to give MP some subtle compliments and throw his name around when the good things happen. But I mean, you look at the
He's the
way
one
the
working them out.
guard. That's what I'm saying. You look at the way the guards are playing. You look at. I mean, heck, we're talking about blue jerseys. If it wasn't for Zach Edey, I think in college basketball, I think RJ would be right there in that
Honestly,
like, hey,
I
number one.
no. First of all, I think he might win it this year. He keep playing what he's
Hey,
doing now, especially after was it last night they just played? That 36
bro,
was
36, and it was the craziest thing with
quiet.
RJ. It's so easy. Like there's no like it doesn't look difficult. Now I will say I'll be interested to see as the season goes on. No teams double him ever.
You can't. He's too
Like,
fast. He
but
just
but
goes by people.
at least making it more. I mean, this guy he came off the ball screen against Wake Forest 10 times, just wide open. He had the floater, he had the pull up three, like he had whatever he wanted. So I'm interested to see if nobody changes the way they guard him, he could average 25 in the whole season and go have his jersey up retired for good. Like
And the
the
crazy
way
thing
that
is,
he's
like I
playing.
said, I think his speed is what makes it that difficult because either you step up on the screen and he goes by you, or you don't step up and he shoots it anyway. So it's just like,
True.
so which
Just
one
a
do you want?
bad matchup.
Would you rather him shoot twos or threes? Because last night he showed he could shoot twos and still beat you. Like, what do you do? Like,
Man, bro. He's playing on a freaking different level. But
I
oh,
got two stats for you guys about that real quick. RJ scored a career high 36. That's the most since a Tar Heel named Brice Johnson scored 39
look at
I
against
still
Florida
that.
State.
I still got the
So we'll talk
most. I
about
still
that
got
a
the
little bit
most.
later.
Still got it.
For
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 now.
now,
now.
for now.
Hey,
And
hey,
then
hey,
this one
hey.
is for
Okay,
you. This is for
keeping
you,
it. Okay.
Justin. RJ is the first Tar Heel to score 30 or more and have 0 turnovers since you did it
Ooh.
against
Well,
Kentucky
first
in
of all, no.
2016. 30, you had
First of
34
all,
and 0.
Justin does not pass the ball.
I
Okay,
was
so
just
there's
about
not
to
going to
say,
be any turnovers.
I think those numbers might be skewed
They
because
are skewed because you didn't pass the ball that last year
I
you played.
did,
You
yeah, yeah.
you was putting it up.
Especially that game. That
You
game,
was.
that game where I had 34, I might have had one assist and it was by default. Like it might have been a missed shot into
I
a
ain't gonna lie.
layup or
Y'all was
something
going.
that they
Listen,
gave to.
y'all was going at it like Marcus and TJ Warren was going at it that one game at State. Y'all was going at it
Ooh,
that
hey,
game.
God, those
Y'all were
were
going at it.
those were some
I wish
great.
mine was like that, but mine wasn't like that. It's a little one
That's
sided.
because,
Well,
hey,
no,
look,
Marcus at 30 though. Come on, it's not even. It's
he
not.
did have 30.
He did
And
have 30.
hey, look, trust me, I'll get into this because I don't think I've ever really told the story to anybody else about that Florida State game because I was low key selfish during that game. But we'll talk about that in a second because
Oh, I can't wait to hear this. Ooh.
I definitely want to get into that. But we're gonna go back. We already talked about RJ. We know the guards. MP's doing his job over there with the guards, getting them right. What is something because we've tried to figure it out. Obviously, Mondo comes in. He's got all the hype, preseason All American, ACC preseason ACC Player of the Year, all that kind of stuff. As you've kind of seen him, because he's taken a different, almost a different role now that this season has gone on. Like I would say that RJ's kind of stepped in and he's now the number one option offensively, and so Mondo isn't that. Give me the ball on the block 25 times a game and see what
Yeah.
happens. But when you watch Mondo and kind of what he's done, and we'll even say Jalen Washington whenever he gets into the game and gets some minutes, what is some thoughts that you have on them and even like advice coming from a big man that made it in the UNC type system?
Well, their system's a lot different than ours. Y'all were kind of
That is
forced us
true.
to get. Y'all were forced us to get a ball. But I
That is
will
true.
say, senior year, y'all really didn't give me a ball like that. Honestly, other
We
than on
didn't.
lobs, or
You
I
got
got
all yours from
rebounds.
offensive boards,
Yeah,
bro.
I got them for
Honestly.
man. You know what's funny? You know what I think about? I was like, yeah, Armando's breaking all these records. I was like, could you imagine him playing with us, trying to get boards from like me or Kennedy?
No. There's no
Like
way.
Kennedy up there tipping it to himself every like 2 possessions and all that stuff. But
There's no way.
uh, I will say this: I wish that he would. And like, I just wish he would assert himself a little more sometimes. Like sometimes he just kind of disappears. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he has all the rebounds, but like, dude, you still need to be that offensive like force, especially
Hmm.
being the actual second option. I was never that option. You guys were kind of the option, other than like I said, other than what's still running secondary or like
Hmm.
all those other secondary break plays we ran, and I caught lobs. But other than that, I didn't really get the ball in the post unless I ran the
Yeah.
floor. Like, and
Yep.
sometimes it just looks like he's out of shape. Sometimes, but I know they're in good shape. First of all, Jonas ain't having
Hmm.
that, so he's not
Jonas
having
is
that.
not having
So
that.
he
That's
is
one
not
thing
having
he
that.
will
But
not allow.
I just wish he would assert himself. I think it would help. I think it would help RJ. It's not like the paint's clogged for him. Like he has
Yeah.
Harrison out there hanging around the 3-point line. Like he doesn't have another guy posting up as like we did. Like we always had two bigs in the game. It's just him. Like I wish we played like that more. Like we did a few times, but that was because
Facts.
everybody was in foul trouble. Like other than me,
Yeah.
like everybody was in foul trouble. Like other than that, like I think him
Bigs
being
cooking.
I think him being more aggressive on offense might help them, especially in the first half. Because
Yeah.
RJ's turning into like Marcus the second half page. He's turning into that where he's turning
For
up in the
sure.
second half and he's really like taking
Facts.
over.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think there's a balance because when they first started the season, he was trying to be assertive, but it was almost overly assertive. Like you could tell whether it was,
He was trying to be player of the year. You could
yeah,
tell where it was just
he
like
was,
just trying to figure it out first and then you know
that's
like
it.
my senior year, like I didn't. It took what like 5 6 games in before I started actually figuring out like, all right, just run the floor, get rebounds, and dunk it every time you touch it. Like if you don't,
Exactly.
and if you touch it, and
You
if
were
you touch
still
it in the post,
dominant.
and even if you touch it in the post, y'all all knew where it was going. It was going right hand jump hook, or it was
Yeah,
going
every
like a
time.
turnaround jumper
Every
every time.
time.
So it's
But
just like
that opened up everything
for
like
y'all,
for us on the perimeter. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
And I think
and
that's what
so
they're
it's
missing.
that is it, I think, and I think it's like because one of the things I've always like all season I've been like, hey, shooting is going to be like huge for them outside of
Yeah,
RJ. Obviously, RJ is going to shoot and do what he does, what he needs to do. But when you look at the rest of the team, it's like, okay, where is that? Because I think that's what made that team that made the championship so good was Brady was able to space the floor and knock down open
yeah.
shots outside of whether it was RJ, Caleb, whatever. But if Mondo isn't doing what he's supposed to be doing on the block, then that
But it
just creates harder shots for guys on the perimeter,
absolutely. But
you know?
also, this is one thing I wish they did is, and I know you're probably going to bring up Jalen later, but like I wish they play him more. I wish they play him and Mondo together because one, it gives you another person to like help. It helps him. Like
Hmm.
he doesn't have to get all the rebounds. He doesn't have to, play ball screen defense. Like first of all, they don't even hedge on screens like we did. Like
They don't.
they play drop coverage. Like
Yeah.
and he's forced to go another end. It's like, all right, well, he's gonna get double teamed because everybody's gonna sag off of Harrison.
Facts.
Like, dude, like he has no space. Like, imagine if there's another
Yeah.
big that's
Facts.
actually really good, long arms in the dunker spot. Like Armando gets
Yeah.
it, double team, dump it down like we used to. Like, I think that would help. But listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Hey,
Listen,
at this
it ain't
point,
broke.
if if you number three, there's no need to go and just make a complete facelift. But I mean, I've mentioned that too. Like, I personally love what Jalen Washington could bring because of the fact that if he needs to space the floor, he can shoot the ball.
That's what I said. I
But
think he can
he's,
shoot a little bit too. Down. I've seen him shoot a
you
few
know,
jumpers. I'm just like, okay, maybe he can space it out
so
a little bit for him in the
he's
paint.
exactly. He's got that ability, but at the same time, he's also 6'10". So everything on the inside, for one, defensively, even though they're low key guarding the crap out of everybody they play against, defensively, that clogs up with no defensive 3 seconds, that clogs up the paint crazy against other teams. So
I'm
it's
not gonna lie.
like,
Listen, these guards are actually guarding. Y'all didn't guard. This y'all just listen. Y'all just let them go by and let me block it. I know it's okay. Listen, I appreciate it. I appreciate all the blocks, but when you're the call, listen, we're gonna just put that out there. So,
it's jacked up. But there
well,
might be, there's some truth to it. There's some truth. There's some
there,
truth.
no, there's sometimes that y'all did guard, but a lot of the time y'all knew I was back there and I would just block it. So,
Hey, look, it was just like when Hakeem Olajuwon was out back there. All the guards used to say, "Look, if I got beat, I know he's not gonna lay it up. He's
He,
not gonna do anything in
listen,
the rim."
sure what, especially not with Isaiah. Sometimes he would just like,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not about to foul. I'm not about to do none of that. But I'm not about to even fake like I'm trying to recover because I'm going to let you think that you have a layup, and then we'll see how that works out.
exactly.
Uh, but no, I agree, bro. I mean, everything that you're saying is exactly kind of what I've talked about as far as at times, at least, as far as like I think is at times that there needs to be some pressure taken off of Mondo when it comes to the bigs, because obviously guard wise they pretty much have it covered.
Oh yeah,
Guards
but
even with
you like you said,
Harrison
like
being
sometimes you can see where teams go big on purpose to clog the
yeah
paint. For one, you have to clog it because RJ is getting downhill every chance he gets. Every time
exactly
Armando goes up there and sets a screen, RJ's either getting to the rim or he's shooting a floater. So you have to clog the paint. That's why I said
exactly
we need to at some point, like we need to start trying to integrate in that two big system again because I think down the road it's really going to hurt, especially offensive boards. Like I think
hmm
we could really hurt people with offensive boards because a lot of teams don't expect Jalen Washington to go in there and get a putback dunk on somebody's head. Like, and I'm sure he's
facts.
capable of doing it. It's just he needs to be in there to do it.
Just the opportunities. That's all it is. Um, but John, what you think, man? You think should we take this into the FSU memories, or should we?
Yes, I can set that up. UNC has a big road game against Florida State this weekend. And I was watching the highlights earlier today. It was kind of in a similar situation as you guys were back in the day. It was, let's see, the exact day here. It was January 4th, 2016. You guys were ranked number 6 in the country, so similar top 10 ranking as a team currently heading into Florida State. And it was one of the all-time great games in UNC basketball history, I believe, in terms of individual performances. Brice, you had 39. When I bring up that game, when we first talk about that 106-90 win over Florida State in 2016, what's sort of the first thing that comes to mind
Uh,
for you?
First thing that comes to mind is Marcus at 30. I didn't realize I had 39 until like I will say this. I didn't realize I had 39 until I was stepping up to shoot some free throws and make it 40, and I missed because Kennedy kind of looked at me. He was like, Kennedy kind of looked at me and told me to look up, and I looked up, and I was like, oh, okay, all right. So then I ended up missing the free throws anyways. And I'm just like, nah, whatever, it's fine.
I
But
was scared of the 40 ball.
oh, trust me, I remember. But then, listen, do you remember we got back home and everybody's like, oh, did you see what Buddy Hill did? He had like 54 at
He
Allen
went
Fieldhouse. And I was like,
crazy.
okay, well, I guess my game wasn't nothing. I didn't do
Bro,
anything tonight. Like it was just a normal day for me, I guess.
I swear like that was because nobody while we were playing, I don't think anybody realized that he had those stats and Marcus had 30. Like nobody
No,
really
it
realized
felt
it.
like, boy, it felt like we were in a dogfight the entire game. Like
That
I
so
don't
like
remember. I don't remember like all I remember is at halftime we were like up, and I was like, all right, cool, I think we could pick it up a little bit more. Then all of a sudden we started playing that 1-3-1, and we
mhm.
got a couple
Yep,
steals, and it was just like, okay, here we go. And then
exactly.
Rattan Mays started going off again. I was just like, oh, here we go.
Bro.
Come
Because
on, we got to figure it
that
out. We
was
got to figure it out now.
was that the same year? Was that the same year he went for like 30 in 5 minutes?
Yes, that
Was
year.
that the same year? Yeah. Yeah,
He
you
gave us like
definitely
30. He gave us like
he
30
did.
twice
He
in the same
yeah, he
season.
looked he cooked us both times. But I like for one, 39 and 23, that's just and like we talk about, this wasn't like a 39 like when I would score my junior year, when I would score a lot of points, we'd have like plays that we would run for
Yeah.
me to get shots. You know what I mean? 30 these 39 points like was
Dump
probably
offs.
majority off of dump offs and those rebounds that he had offensive rebounding. Like
Yes.
it wasn't like we were like, "Hey, look, this dude has 25 with 10 minutes left. Let's just drop it down to him." Like it was like cuz we did the same thing against Duke when we ended up did we lose that game? I think we lost
The
that
one at
game.
home, yeah.
We won at home and then there was a game where you had 18 and like 21
That was the one on
And
the road. That's when we clinched the
yes,
ACC championship. But we knew all we had to do was win because we found out at halftime that
that's
who
right.
lost.
That's right.
I think somebody had lost, and we found out like one of the managers told us, and they weren't supposed to. And we were just like,
I think it
oh, so all we got
was
to
it
do is win.
Virginia that year?
What the?
It might have been. It might have
I
been
forgot
them.
who beat us. I
But
forgot who beat who, but we found out at halftime, and all we had to do was win to win like
yeah,
the
we just
regular
had to
season.
win it. That's all it was. But we would have made our lives so much easier if we would have taken that approach. Like, hey, yo, like, let's just get him the ball. Like, instead, I'm over here shooting the ball. I was like 4 for 16 that game. I'm bricking all my shots.
You and
Marcus
Joel,
is out
no
here shooting.
Joel too.
Joel's shooting it. It's like, what are we doing? We could have made our lives so much easier if we would have just given this guy the ball and let him go to his right hand jump hook, and we would have been fine. Like, there was no,
Hey
that's
man,
it,
listen,
period.
I enjoyed getting y'all's rebounds. Okay, I enjoyed those,
I definitely
especially the
was missing
putback
it now.
dunks, especially the putback dunks. I enjoyed those. Yeah. I didn't attempt the 3-pointer all 4 years.
That is sick. That's sick.
No, they couldn't have because I was going up against 7-footers. I had to catch it in space. I
That is
couldn't catch it
true.
on the block. Like remember that was the year Florida State had like 4 or 5 7-footers on the team. They kept
Bro,
just rotating them in, but like
they just would
y'all would like
rotate them.
we would just run. I'd catch it in the middle of the paint and just dunk it. It was just like I
Mhm.
couldn't just catch it on the block. Like that wasn't going to work. Like they were just going to block my shot every time. That just wasn't going to. That was not the no. That was not going to be
That
the
is
thing.
true. That would have been a bad matchup to go with. Hey, let's feed
Yeah, because
Brice.
that's when Kennedy was coming back from injury.
Yep.
Joel was a little bit banged up. Isaiah was 2 foul Isaiah. As soon as he stepped up the bus, he had 2 fouls. Uh, who else? No, that's when we started playing Theo at the 4, right? At the
Yeah, yeah,
beginning of
yeah.
the play. That's when we started playing a
Yep.
little bit of small ball before they all came back.
Exactly. Yeah, that game. It's funny because it's like you had an unbelievable game. Marcus had an unbelievable game. We talk about it. I talk about it all the time with Marcus, but it's always that infamous fast break where it was a 3-on-1, me, him, and Kenny. And I was probably open. He swears it was the right play that he did, but I was probably open. And instead, he just takes the ball all the way, ends up getting a foul and one. He ends up having 30. Hooray. But my memory of that game overall, that was the first time that year that Brooke, my wife, she drove up from Gainesville, Florida to
Oh, so
come
you
to the
was trying
game.
to go off, is what you're saying.
See,
So you were
I
trying to
was
go off.
trying to
You're trying to impress her.
cue the meme of the guy that's dribbling crazy between his legs whenever his girl walks
Ah,
into the freaking
ah.
gym, right?
That's what you were trying to do.
So,
Ah.
so in my mind, I'm
So what
like,
happened all those other
okay,
games
well,
during the season?
hey, look, I don't know. I don't know what happened all those other games. Uh, but going into this game, I'm like, this is my time. Like, I got to prove to her that I am a keeper. Like, I am who I say I am and who I say I can be. I go out there and I think I had 6 points or something like that. And two of those were like at the end of the game. It was like a layup, fast break layup towards the end of the game. So the whole game, the reason I say at the beginning of the show, I was like, I low key was selfish. Low key, I was kind of tight purely because I only had 6 points. And at the time, my girlfriend, now my wife, was in the stands. And in my mind, I'm like, she thinks I'm a bum. Like, what am I doing? Like, I got to be better. You know what I mean? Uh,
Took you to the
so,
next season to do it, but
hey, look. Then I had to look at myself and I had to say, look, maybe this just isn't your time yet. You know what I mean? Like, and thankfully she stuck with me. Now we're 6 going on 7 years, got 2 kids, happily married. We're good now. Thankfully, that game had nothing to do with my future. But that was my mindset with that game. I don't think I've ever told anybody that truly, like that I had that selfish mindset going into the game. But
Listen, I
that
appreciate
is,
you for all those rebounds. Then
look, at least I was doing some positive that game. You know what I mean?
all right, man.
I'll give you 3, 4 of those boards. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I was probably about 5 or 6, but it is what it is. It is what it is. We'll take it. We'll take it. I'll take it.
Hey, bro. No, yeah, man. Yeah, that's golly. I will never forget that game
It's
purely
all good,
because
man.
I knew
It's
she was
okay.
in the stands. But a lot of fans will not forget that game because you put up 40 and 20, and Marcus put up his measly little 30. Uh, I think he had a bang out that game too. I
He
can't
did. He
remember,
should have
but
threw it. He was it him and Theo down there. Theo was kind of like, "You just go ahead." I was like, "Ooh, Marcus, he just
yeah,
gonna go up there
yeah,
and dunk it." All of us a
yeah.
little bit shot by it.
He was feeling himself, but people don't know that Marcus actually had bounce. But he always acted like he was like old or like didn't have it anymore, and then
I
all
was
of a
about to say
sudden it would pop out
behind like JP. I think he had like the second most bounce on the team. Like,
easily, easily.
and
Like when he
nobody ever
wanted
saw
to,
it. But
when he wanted to,
in shoot around, he'd go through the legs like it was nothing every time. And just like
exactly,
nobody ever saw it but us.
exactly. So everybody was probably shocked to see that dunk, but he did that stuff whenever he wanted to. But no, man, we obviously, like John said, North Carolina goes to Florida State on Saturday. 1 p.m. game, which means I'll be able to watch it because my game will be later in the evening. I
Who
hate
y'all
whenever
playing?
their games line up. We play Make 'em Dance Lance, Iowa Wolves. Shout
Oh,
out to
are y'all going up to
shout out
Iowa
to
or is it here?
it's here. We've got a back to back here, Friday, Saturday. Uh,
Uh,
so obviously, man, Brice, I appreciate you, bro. Um,
Anytime, brother.
we're we're definitely we'll definitely have to get together, get a meal, hang out a little bit
Is it
before
on you?
this season ends. Hey,
Dinner on
you're
you?
the one with the real money. I'm the one making the G League salary, brother. I know you had some checks come in that
I don't have
probably
a gun.
were a little bit more than that G League salary. I will tell you
Wait, whoa. First of all, what pick were you?
that. Anyways,
Huh?
everybody
Huh?
listening,
No. Come on.
everybody watching,
What? Come on.
we
No. Let's do this before we get off. What pick were you?
I was a first round pick. I was a
What
first
pick?
round pick,
What pick?
thankfully. I think I was 15, something like that.
How many years did you play in the NBA?
Give or take,
How
give or
many years did you
take.
play?
Uh 5 or 6, something like
Huh.
that.
Hmm. I only played 2. They kicked me out
You're
after 2,
lucky.
so I think you have a little bit more than I do. So
Hey man, it's on me. It's on me, brother.
yes.
Dinner or lunch on me, man. It's on me. But everybody listening, man, everybody watching, once again, thank you for tuning in. Obviously, love these kind of episodes where we get to kind of hang out and catch back up with a legend from UNC himself. Um, Once again, Brice, we appreciate you. Everybody out there
Anytime.
listening and watching,
Anytime,
continue
brother.
to support this team. They hear, and I think I saw something about, or somebody said something basically saying that one of the players, I think it was Mondo or something, uh, had made a comment about like he sees everything, whether it's on the message board or whatever. So, like we always say at the end of the shows, man, these guys, the players, they see, they hear everything, the negativity, the positivity, whatever it is. Um, and even as much as they might act like it doesn't matter to them and that they don't care, all of them are humans. They all have emotions, they all have feelings. So, as fans, we got to sit there and we got to be fans and support. So, we appreciate y'all. And until next time.